Hey there, guys. How are you doing this morning? Thanks for tuning in. As I told you, I would be doing raw and uncensored IVF Journey videos. So it's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks now, since I videoed you guys about birth control, first phase of my protocol. And yeah, so keeping in line with that, birth control in and of itself is not what I remembered when I was 19. I used to get deathly ill and very nauseous and queasy on my stomach from taking them. And 9 times out of 10, it's because my mother started me on them way too young. You know, that's a whole nother story. But I remember having to be adjusted several times with the birth control when I was a teenager. So I don't know, age, evolution of birth control pills, whatever the magic is, but I'm not having those symptoms. What I am having is the worst cramps known to man. I think I told you, it felt like my uterus was going to revolt, fall out, and hit the floor. That being said, it was an all-out onslaught on my uterus over the past 2 weeks with the cramping, to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. There was no over-the-counter pain relief that was going to make this shit stop. They girdled me from the small of my back around to my abdomen. It started messing with my sciatica. The pain and the contractions of the cramps were so bad. They started messing with my sciatica, and I haven't had sciatica issues in years. Oh my God. So I reached out to my IVF coordinator and asked some questions. That, coupled with the fact that I have been bleeding for about 2 weeks. I mean, there is a homicide team assigned to watch my house just in case I come up missing or dead, because this is not normal. There's nothing normal about this shit. So I reached out to my IVF coordinator and I was like, for real, am I gonna die? Am I going to bleed to death? Is this the new normal for murder? And he was like, no. And he reached out to the doctor, and I love Live Fertility in Puerto Vallarta because I can reach out to them at any time of day, and within an hour I am going to get a response. Not just a generic response, we're talking a detailed, very, you know, thought out answer response to any question that I may have. So he reached out to the doctor after having responded to me himself with the 50,000-foot view of what he thought was going on. Then the doctor, an hour after that, reached out to me and was like, okay, so here's what's going on. Here's what we can do. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. Because my questions were leaning to if this type of bleeding and breakthrough bleeding can be the norm for 3 months. And I've been bleeding for 2 weeks, and my protocol is supposed to be on target for mid to late June retrieval transfer thing. How is any of this gonna work? Because we are brand new to this, and it just seemed like counterintuitive to the whole getting pregnant part. If you just bleeding, like, you a homicide victim. And so he assured me with all of his answers what was going to be done and blah, blah, blah. And I just really felt relieved about that. I've been doing a lot of research on, you know, the reasons women are diagnosed with unexplained infertility. And I came up with some possibilities with beta HCG antibodies built up in our systems that prevent pregnancies from sticking. So it's a long, technical, medical, scientific read. For those of you that are interested in reading it, I will post the link that I have for the article in the messages or the dialogue boxy thing at the bottom. I'm not good at this part, but I'll try to put it in there. If not, send me a message and I'll be more than happy to send it to you, because it makes so much sense as to why we try so hard and go through all the steps and go through the whole process, and there's nothing wrong with our egg quality in some cases, and there's nothing wrong with our uterine lining thickness in some cases, and there's absolutely no reason for why our little rainbow beans won't stick. And I just kept digging around, and there was an article about some vaccinations in another country that rendered women sterile, and when they researched the vaccines, they found out there was an HCG component to the vaccines that were rendering the women infertile. And so I started doing the reverse engineering and asking the questions and digging deeper over the past couple weeks, and this is what I came up with. So I'll put it in the little box at the bottom that you're supposed to put stuff in, and hopefully it helps someone. This is my morning routine. This is just me going through the process of, you know, trying to de-stress. So I get out in the morning, I take a drive, I do the one thing the doctor tells me I shouldn't, which is drink a cup of coffee ever so often. So today is one of those coffee mornings. I live in a rural area, so I've got to drive about 3 miles to get a decent cup of coffee. And so yeah, that's what I wanted to just kind of post about today. It's not really super technical today about IVF, because there's not really much I can give you yet as far as my experiences beyond the birth control. But I will give you a side note. In my last video, I was really hopeful that the birth control would, you know, give me the libido and the sexual prowess of a 19-year-old. Yeah, no, with the way I've been bleeding, I'm just happy to be able to breathe. I have no energy, and I've doubled up on my vites and yada, yada, yada. And it's okay. I'm not sheerly exhausted today, but yeah, that energy level of a 19-year-old just not happening. And that acne thing, I was hoping it would clear up. Well, we're still waiting on that. We're still waiting to see what that all works out to be, because I did get a pimple in a place that I normally never get pimples on my face, and that's real disconcerting actually. But that's about it with the BC. Hopefully April is like 2 days away. So hopefully in the next week, I will start all of my protocols for my medications that are in line with what I need for my IVF, and then I will start chronicling all the meds I'm on and the dosages, and do the cliche thing for IVF in case anybody's interested. But in the meantime, I just wanted to, you know, be consistent, or more consistent with my videos, because you guys have been really, really sweet to watch my videos and give me response and feedback. And I just want to be encouraging to everyone, because I've gotten so much encouragement from the ladies and a couple men who are going through this process. And it's about the community we build. It's about the giving ourselves enough tender, loving care and supporting one another through this journey, because that's what makes the big difference. We cry when someone has a devastating effect. We laugh and rejoice when everyone has a success. And that's what I've gotten so far, and that's what I kind of want to give out. And I want everyone to know that there's no right way or wrong way to do it. You're doing it right. You're giving it your all. You're sacrificing life and limb. You are sacrificing mental state and physical state and financial state, and you're doing it right. And I just want everyone to feel comfortable in the skin they're in while they're on this journey, because I am. Ergo why I don't do makeup. Ergo why I let you all see me looking a hot, ratchet, fat mess most of the time. Because this is real. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like to get to the other side of being a parent. So, all right, that's really all I've got to say. My coffee is about a ½ mile up the road, and it's time to focus in on my strategy to get in and get out without waiting 30 minutes to get it. So, as always, I want you to be good to yourselves, be kind to yourselves, forgive yourselves for the things that aren't your fault. And I will be back hopefully in the next week and a half. Love you. Love me. Bye.